No losses. What I like to see. So our camp has moved again. Go to Heaven's Edge. Why couldn't all these aristocrats just stay in Kenabres? Why have a feast in such a cursed place?
We march ahead.
My not so numerous, but nonetheless dearest guests. About a year ago at my last birthday party, I assured you all that I nurtured a deep-seated hatred for boring people who give protracted speeches in the misplaced belief that their inner thoughts are of any interest to anyone but themselves. Now I am a whole year older and also a full-fledged crusader, an honorable position that requires me to be as dull, pedantic, and vexing as I possibly can. Therefore, a speech it is.
Darren's face is impossible to read, but he has his usual half smirk fixed in place, his eyes gleam with excitement, but his anxious gaze wanders for just a moment too long before he begins his speech.
The revered cleric Nestrin, my guardian and tutor, often told me that those who live a sinful life may expect to join the abyssal hordes after they die. This is why their path is the most despicable of all. A part of their soul may return to Mendev in the abominable form of a demonic invader. Every time we see a demon, we might as well think about it. What if this wretched creature used to be your great-great-grandfather? What if certain parts of this pointy-tailed beauty used to belong to your pious cousin? They say that the demons represent the sins of the souls they are made of. Succubi emerge out of lustful souls. Vandals turn into Abracandilu. Gluttons become Nabasu. I, for one, am determined to commit as many different sins as possible, so that the distributive mechanism of the abyss breaks when it tries to decide what to do with my soul. You, my dearest guests, will be my assistants in this complicated task. Eat, drink, and indulge yourselves in whatever vices you can. Let nobody leave this house as righteous as they entered it. Live every day like it's your last. After all, nobody knows when that day will arrive, do they?
Darian smirks, finishes his wine, and tosses the glass to the ground. How interesting. Visitor Little appears from in your ear behind you. You find anything interesting? Nothing really. I just took a note of a few things. I attempted to find out whether anything unusual or mysterious has happened to the Count over the last 10 years. During my conversation with his acquaintances, two people noted that he never speaks of the revered Nestrian, the priest of Iomede, who was his guardian and tutor. He mentioned Nestrin in his speech, whatever that might mean. He told me that you tried to find if anything odd had happened to Darren over the last 10 years. Some of his servants complained about strange occurrences in the house, like objects moving by themselves or candles going out. Of course, it could simply be a figment of their imagination. It is also very well known that the Count often invites various spellcasters to entertain him, and encourages them to use their magic in mischievous ways. Practically, the whole of Mendev knows the story about the three drunk wizards and their teleportation race across the roofs of Kenabres after a party at the Count's house. What I'm trying to say is that any fluctuations in residual magic at his house are not all surprising. There was a matter of the abduction, however. A gang of bandits kidnapped the Count, hoping for ransom, but the only reward they got was death. Afterward, the Count told everyone that he'd hired the bandits himself as a joke. The other mercenary squad that freed him and executed the bandits was also in his employ. Nobody really wanted to delve too deep into this case after confirming the identities of those wretched cutthroats. But there was one disturbing fact about it all, and I don't mean the Count's bizarre idea of the fun. The mercenaries who supposedly freed him from had also cut off the bandits' heads after they had already killed them. The heads cut off? You mean the bandits who attacked Darian? Yes, perhaps I wouldn't have even noticed the detail had I not visited Heaven's Edge right after the tragic incident. I remember that we also found several headless bodies, both of guests and demons. We thought they had been decapitated during the fight. we need to do, Inquisitor? Now that's the hardest part. I need to dive deep into the past of this place, which requires casting several different spells over some time. It would be very convenient for me if nobody interrupted this process, especially the Count himself. I don't think he remembers my face, but a suspicious stranger casting unknown spells might attract his attention. All in all, what I want you to do is distract the master of the house. Right now he's playing host in the very place I'd like to start with. How do I distract him? I don't know, maybe your companions can assist you somehow. Or you can take a look around. Perhaps there's something that you can help us. I understand. Good luck. Come back to me when the Count leaves. I will tell you everything I managed to find out, and maybe even show you something.
Our path leads on.
I'm just going to quickly loot him, because, you know. A wine may distract him. Okay. Let's go figure it out. Let's go talk to... Let's see if anyone wants to talk to us. Come down around a party, go figure. Therian, who has been watching the guest with an unreadable expression, turns his head to you and it says in a casual tone, like he's continuing a conversation that was interrupted. I've always considered myself an aesthete, not a hero. Or aesthete. Wait, aesthete? When doomsday comes, I thought I'd pour myself a glass of 100-year-old wine, sit in the front row, and just watch the world burn. Playing the violin was also an option. I'll be damned if I know how I ended up in the fifth crusade. How did I become a companion for hero chosen by Amide? Perhaps it's your chance to find... Actually, no. Sometimes the most casual occurrences dictate our fate's course. I'm afraid it's not always the case. Sometimes it is dictated by alien, but wholly liberal forces. Tell me more about Heaven's Edge. The estate was once a beautiful sight, with lush gardens and placid ponds. Darian smiles briefly. It's a genuine smile, quite different from his usual half-smirk. The house itself is not that large, however. This land was part of the border region even before the Worldwound, so my ancestors took that into account when laying the foundations. The larger the mansion, the harder it is to defend. I'd gladly give you a tour, but I'm afraid there's not much to see. I don't have much time, so my servants only managed to clean up this yard. The Great Hall and a couple of the rooms, there is nothing interesting about them, except perhaps the magical figurehead system. Firefighting system powered by water elements. I'm not just sure it's still functional though. You do remember that you are still my field attaché and plan up something, Count. I did a full report of your work so far, in half an hour. There are easy ways of saying, Dear Darren Arenday, I hate you, you know. A report then. Fine, Commander, you shall have your report. I feel like a dick, but that my lawful nature really does help. I see that you did your part, Commander. Thank you. Now get ready to watch and listen closely. I will unravel the past of this place and try to show you whatever I find. The hum of voices, laughter, and music fills your mind, and the visions come fragmented and hazy at first. They eventually coalesce to reveal a single face. It is a woman of stunning heavenly beauty, and her delicate features instantly tell you who she is. The family resemblance to Darian is obvious. My dear guests, the House Lady of Heaven's Edge welcomes all of you today. I hope this day is as bright for you as it is for me, because on this day, my only, precious, sometimes arrogant but utterly beloved child was born. A child is usually a reflection of their parents and caretakers. Countess, will you allow the humble tutor of this young man to address the guests and the man of the hour as well? A new face appears. It is a handsome old man with a strong, dignified posture and a voice that emanates power. Can't you just have one day about your sermons? It's my birthday after all. 10 years ago, the young Darian had utterly angelic appearance. His table manners and expressions lacked the dignity of a true angel, however. Today, I'm sure the revered Nestrin only wanted to hug you and offer you his best wishes on your birthday. Wait, what's that noise? The shrill laughter rings in your ear and reverberates in the base of your skull. In the vision, Alilatu appears before the guests of the estate and gives them an exaggerated, scornful bow. The sorceress of evil has come to your celebrations, mortals. Did you prepare a treat for me too? What do you want, spawn of the abyss? I've already done everything I wanted to. Hey, you doddering cleric, look around. Don't you notice anything odd? The plague is in your wine, in your food, and in the air around you, in your blood. Soon you'll all die. Pray to your prophetic goddess and call upon your healing powers all you want. But they're not going to help you. Nothing will help you. I will give you a chance to see it for yourselves, and when I return, the grave realization will have already sunk its teeth into your throats. Oh, how I love watching mortals in their final desperate hours. Demon finishes her speech with an air kiss to Darian, making him freeze in horror and disappears. Litor shakes his head and slowly exhales, rubbing his temples. The first appearance of the disease and the Litu, one of many sisters of the accursed Minagar. So far, everything I've seen matches the official version of events. Who are the people in the vision? Countess Selena Arendelle was Darian's mother and one of the most beautiful women in the history of Mendev. She was an Azamar, just like her son. The old man is the esteemed cleric, Nestrin, our count's guardian and tutor. He was well known for his unfaltering faith and iron will. I was only passing acquaintance with him, so I can't tell you anything more than that. I didn't recognize the others, but Darian told me the first victim of the disease was his second cousin, the cousin's wife, hailing from the eastern border. Surely the cleric could have done something. Can't say for certain, but I believe there was nothing he could have done. Magical diseases are already difficult enough to cure, and this plague struck very fast indeed. Now I must find out what happened next. What now? I sense the aftershock of the very strong outburst of emotions and memories somewhere in the west wing of the house. Something must have happened in one of the rooms, so please check if anyone is there and distract them if need be. Commander of the Bloody Crusade, why am I walking around doing grunt work? West Wing. Yep. There's Darian! Of course Darian's where I want to be. Your report is on the table, the Count mutters acidically. I'm absolutely confident. Actually, no, what room is this? Darian casts a look around the room as if he's never seen it before, then shrugs carelessly. Just a random room. I told my servants to make some rooms ready. This is one of the rooms they chose. I am absolutely confident that you won't be able to persuade Sosiel to draw a portrait of you. A nude portrait, that is. That sounds like a fine idea. Our cleric will surely turn down a direct request, but if I tell him that we could sell the portrait at a charity auction, why, have I never thought of selling my nude portraits at the charity auction? It will cause such a huge scandal. It will also be for a good cause. This will give those good god-botherers something to complain about. You've given me a brilliant idea. Have fun! And that was easy. I see that you're able to do as I asked. Prepare yourself. The vision might be rather difficult to watch. Young Darian, stands motionless by the Countess's bed. His face is pale with fear, and for good reason. His mother's heavenly beauty is gone. Her smile, once beaming with vitality and happiness, looks more like a grimace of a corpse. Only her golden hair still glows, a sad reminder of the heavenly young woman she was just a few hours ago. Mother, can you hear me? Mother? Hey, my boy. How did you get here? The Countess' voice is fading. Don't come any closer. This disease. Mother, listen. The revered Nestrin has sealed the gates. He says that he won't let anyone leave the estate. If the plague reaches the larger settlements, nobody will be able to stop it. He claims this is why demons attacked us in the first place. They knew that we would call upon the strongest clerics, the healers, and those clerics would catch the disease and die as well. The fat baron and his family tried to escape, but 3 armed paladins barred the way and said they would not let them go. Mother, we need help. Kenabres is full of clerics, wizards, and demons knows who else. They might be able to know how to stop it. We need to get there as soon as possible. We must obey the revered Nestrin. We are the lords of Mendev. We must protect our people. If the plague, if it reaches Kenabres, thousands of innocent people will die. I don't care about any innocence, Darian raises his voice to a shout. You're ill, Mother. You're dying. You must tell them to open the gates and take you to Kenabres, but they won't listen to me. You are the lady of the estate. They can't refuse you. I can't. I must. Please leave, my dearest. Don't lose hope. You can still... A convulsion overtakes the Countess's body. Her last words are swallowed by a long, guttural groan. Litor wearily rubs his temples, but his face is unreadable. I have an answer to one of the many questions. Nobody went to Kenabres in search of help, because the revered Nestrin didn't let them. He valued the safety of the city more than the lives of his flock of the estate. What a difficult choice must have been to make. Lives are equally valuable. How could he refuse to save them just because he thought some other people might suffer? The magnitude of potential disaster made him do so. Perhaps it was the matter of his dignity. No one wants to be responsible for wiping out an entire city. Little rubs his chin thoughtfully. I've never been in the revered Nestran's position, but I know the price of difficult decisions, especially those that you have to make quickly. I have no right to judge him. We must continue our investigation. The next site I'd like to examine is the Great Hall. That is where we found the remains of Nestran and the demons. I assume that he'd killed them in the confrontation, but we must make sure of that. Please, help me clear the area so I can study it. To be honest, I'm more interested to know if Darian actually got that nude portrait. I can't believe I made him write a report. I feel like an absolute tool. Like, I actually feel slightly bad. Oh!
Not my line of fashion.
Indulged in a number of gloriously naughty reveries in this particular order. Dreams of sexual intercourse with a beautiful elven princess, 1 hour. Dreams of vigorous sexual intercourse with a squad of muscular southern mercenaries, half an hour. Dreams of sexual intercourse with Her Majesty and on the Queen before, on, and under the royal throne in the Grand Palace of Nerasan, 15 minutes per act. Dreams of enjoying a barrel full of Kyonin wine, a soft feather bed, and a fine 3-course dinner, 2 hours, including a break to sustain myself with some upliftingly nutritious army rations. Dreams of Mendev's bright future, where the strict doctrines of Church via media are abolished, and dull faces and boredom are punishable by death. 10 minutes, interrupted by sudden twinge of sadness and dismay. An exhaustive enumeration of Count Darian Arunday's activities submitted for approval and edification by the eminently respectful and highly esteemed Knight Commander of the 5th Crusade. You know what? I'm not even mad. I'm so glad I made him do that. That's fucking hilarious. I love Darian. He's a badass. Door's sealed and looks like it hasn't been opened in a very long time.
We march ahead.
Ooh. There are occasional traces of older masonry found on foundations. Looks like the building was reconstructed several times. Interesting.
Our path leads on.
Let's go make sure our companions are having fun. Stop trying to talk me into this. You have neither heart nor conscience, Darian. Even the noble idea of charity becomes a farce when you touch it. Well, I don't think these so-called innocents will suffer from knowing that the money and medicine came from my sinful silhouette. I just saw a portrait of Darian's mum, so she was Nazma too, huh? Some people get a celestial bloodline, tons of money and a title. Others get horns and a slap in the face. I wonder why the demons who attacked Heaven Edge chose the plague as the weapon. It was so unimaginative. A simple family or person living in a house large enough for my entire tribe. Fun and frolics may shield us from honor and despair, but one should use the shield sparingly. Impulsive food consumption may be a symptom of several serious neurological disorders. It may also indicate that the food in question boasts exceptional palatability. There's so much food here. If I let Suit eat everything she wants, she'll become twice as fat and won't be able to fly anymore. Don't think I underestimate the importance of quality rest for soldiers, but this isn't rest. It's decadence. Oh, I agree. The door is sealed and looks like it hasn't been opened for a very long time. Oh. Damn, I thought that might lead somewhere. Hey, Darian. There's a feverish gleam to Darian's eyes, owing to the tipsiness. I've a tipsiness or abundance of motion. Oh there, Samael. That rotter Social refused to sketch me in the nude for charity, but it didn't upset me too much. The face he made while I was explaining the idea to him were well worth it. He looked very much like a pious matron being confused with a talking male organ. One that was 2 foot long and being held aloft by a pair of golden angel wings. How are you enjoying the party? Having a good time? How about you, Darian? Are you having any fun? Of course I'm having fun, Darian says defiantly. What's wrong? Do you want me to spend my whole life in fear and mourning, blame myself for what happened? Fine, let's change the subject. I thought the unique ambience of Heaven's Edge and the fact that we're on the very border of the Worldwound would make the celebration special. I thought the past would resurface and make itself known, Darian smirks bitterly. Well, it even seems the ghosts don't wish to attend my parties anymore. What could we do to liven up the event? You know what? I think it's time for a drinking contest. Ah yes, the tried and trusted method for salvaging a dull party. For salvaging anything, actually. I'm ready, but who's my competition? Lan will be my champion in this contest. I'm ready. Let's see how this puffed up brat holds his own against a kid from the caves with a cast iron stomach. Mongol cooking will do that for you. Tell me, oh kid from the caves, should I tuck you into bed on your right side or your left? I just wish to fully prepare for the inevitability to collapse you under the table. Let's drink until one of us falls unconscious or begs for mercy. It's just a little warm-up. Up for more? Have you already thought about how you'll tell your posh friends about this? They'll be so happy to find out that you lost to a horrible, scaly, one-horned caveman. They'll be green with envy. I got a chance to drink with a horrible, scaly, one-horned caveman, and they didn't. Then I come up with a better joke, Lan. Next round. Lan is our champion. Victory to Lan. Whoa, such a great task for a humble mongrel. Well, we'll see what happens. Oh, are we done here? Or are you ready for another round? Why are you so upset, your mightiness? Didn't expect this, huh? I do believe I'm seeing double. Oh wait, it's just your face. My grandfather, or maybe my great-grandmother, put this bottle in the family cellar. And it allowed the sign of an illustrious line to save face and finish in a tie. Darren looks a bit unsteady on his feet. I don't feel very well. Hey everyone, let's go back outside. I need to get some fresh air in my lungs. Here we are again, Commander. Little looks grim but focused, so let's take another glimpse into the past. A ripple of laughter flows through the halls. It begins in a sweet, charming chuckle, and then turns into a rasping cackle that makes Darren huddle even deeper into his corner. Why are you running from me, my sweet prince? Come on, let me touch you. I'll give you... The booming voice of an old man dressed in Iamedian robes shakes the walls of the hall. Get away from him, demon. Let the boy go. By the blade of the inheritor, you touch him over my dead body. You're pathetic, old cleric. Are you the guardian of this charming little prince? Well, you guarded him in vain. The disease is already circulating in his blood, and soon he'll rot before your eyes. You won't be able to help him, and I can at least make sure his death is beautiful, clean, and sweet. The demoness turns her faceless eyes to Darian and licks her lips. A coarse laugh escapes the young man's throat. See about that. Litter turns towards you in astonishment. Droplets of sweat glisten on his temple. Something is wrong, Commander. My spells are not working as expected. It's as if some kind of supernatural explosion occurred here 10 years ago, blending everything together. The magical auras, the emotions, the memories. I will try to read it again. Could it be dangerous? I cannot say for certain, but it is unlikely. The past is the past, and no one can travel through time except for some uniquely powerful entities like ions, or perhaps even the elders of the First World. Even though the past of this place is horrible, it poses no threat to us in the present. Please continue. Give me a moment to focus. I will try to channel my visions of feelings to you as accurately as possible. Darren, my boy, what is going on? Little's muscular shoulders suddenly begin to shake. The vision he is channeling does not change, but you feel something enormous and chilling suddenly infiltrate the reality around you. The presence of this nameless being becomes almost palpable. An alien entity is talking to him. Hurry, old cleric, stop him right now. Do you really want to see what happens next when... Save me. Can you save me? presence thickens into something more tangible. The entity is silent, but you feel your blood pulsing in your temples. And each beat brings a new image, or rather a new notion. Help brings a feeling of relief and safety. Exchange makes the pulse stronger, more demanding. Gate and secret come indefinitely after. The amount images become heavier and almost visible. Secret, keep the secret. Secret, keep the secret. Otherwise, death, 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 death. The gruesome images whirl through your mind, filling it with pain and fear, and then it all starts again. Help, exchange, secret, death. Nation Auschwitz is shaken out, and then suddenly looking like a doddering old man instead of a mighty cleric imbued with holy power. Darian, wait! The thing you're about to let loose is even worse than these demons. Darian's body is quivering like a taut bowstring. His eyes dart from the cleric to the demoness. He's frantically casting his protective spells. Demons, saints, I'm so fed up with all of you. Burn. Little opens his eyes with a groan, then gets back to his feet. His legs are wobbly, his eyebrow is cut, but he seems not to notice. The sincere sorrow is written on his face, as well as a strong hint of horror. What a misfortune. No. What a disaster. Everything is far worse than I imagined. You understand what happened 10 years ago? Well, you alright? The strain, the emotions, they overwhelmed me and made me faint like an agitated youngster. It is nothing really. I will not be able to cast any spells for the rest of the day, but aside from that, I am fine. You understand what happened 10 years ago? The Inquisitor slowly exhales through clenched teeth and says in a low voice, still massaging his temples, yes and no. Damn it, my thoughts are astray. I will try to explain everything to you in full detail. Many living things are capable of performing the most extraordinary feat, good or bad. When a deadly threat looms over them, 10 years ago the young Count found himself cornered in every sense of the word, and he allowed some alien entity to intercede for him. It frightens me that all my experience as an Inquisitor is completely useless in this case. It does not resemble anything I've ever heard or read about. This entity, I think I will call it the Other, possesses uncanny power. It was capable of instantly killing 3 greater demons, a mighty cleric, and a host of other mortals. You saw everything yourself. What's even worse is that this entity, this Other, it is still here. Otto takes a long pause, his gaze drawn to the chamber where all the guests are laughing and dancing. Darian's eloquent voice raised above the music for a moment. He's asking someone to bring more wine and add more logs to the fire. I don't know what this creature is, but I do know what it did to the Count. It turned into a living gateway. The Other is not inside the Count's body. It is not directly controlling his mind. That's why there are no obvious signs of possession, but it is looking through his eyes. It treats him like a window into our world, and it can instantly step through it to wreak havoc whenever it desires. Does Darian know anything about this? Yes, of course he does. Did you hear what he said? The Other tried to convey to us. Help in exchange for a secret. Death. Death to those who know the truth. He wants to have an opportunity to use the Count as a gateway without anyone knowing. That is what made Darian deny that he remembered anything about the conclusion of the events at Heaven Edge. What might the Other want? The strangest thing about it all. He came to this world 10 years ago and is still here, right? All this time it's been watching through the eyes of the Count. Had it, for instance, wanted to kill Her Majesty the Queen, he would have had plenty of opportunities to do so. The Count can get close to practically every influential figure in Mendev, but the Other refuses to act, or its interest lies in some other sphere. The Other kill everyone then. The disease was not to blame. Not everyone, just Nesty and his paladins and the few remaining guests. Damn it, I know that this was the work of a mysterious omnipotent entity, but it still stings. I was here 10 years ago, and I didn't check everything personally. And those who did fail to sense something was wrong. We have to do something. Yes, now I understand Father Nestrin perfectly. I must make a crucial decision despite the dearth of information. The Inquisitor falls silent for a while. Then he looks at you in the right in the eye. Commander, first and foremost, I must apologize to you. Second, I must ask you to keep all this secret. What are you sorry for? I apologize for dragging you into this mess. You see, the Other, an entity of immense power, stated very clearly would kill anyone who found out the truth. Anyone who knows the Count is actually a living gateway. I suppose this secret is currently known to 3 people on Galarian. You, me, and Count Darian. And that means that it gives you a crooked smirk and shrugs. Why should I keep it a secret? As soon as the Count finds out that we know his secret, the Other will understand it as well. We do not know what it is, and what exactly is the scope of its powers. But we do know that it would dispose of anyone who might reveal its existence. I've made a decision, Little says gravely. I will not tell anyone about the discovery we've made, not even the Queen or my superiors. Instead, I will immediately go to Nerasan and sift through all the archives of the Inquisition in order to find out exactly who we are dealing with and how we can possibly be defeated. I may also make some cautious inquiries in other places, including Abelson. Still, I will not reveal the truth until I have found at least some reliable information. I am asking you to do the same. Specifically, do not say a single word about our investigation to the Count himself. What are you going to do with Darian himself? At the very least, he is guilty of letting the other enter our world. Right now, I'm a lot more concerned about the other, but when we find a way to get rid of it, the entity, the Count will have to stand trial. Many things about this case are still unclear, including the extent of his guilt. Did he call upon the other by himself, or did he simply answer its call? Could he refuse its offer? Or would it have led to his immediate death? Every detail is important, every testimony needs solid proof. That is the difference between righteous justice and blind vengeance. Fine, I will keep it a secret. Leotor, let our sigh of relief. You've made the right choice. I recommend that you go back to the guests and spend the rest of the evening as you please. Anything else might raise suspicions. I must leave immediately in search of the knowledge we all need so desperately. Farewell, Commander. May the light of Iomede guide your path. And Little Hawkblade will try to keep your triumph clear of any unwanted guests. Okay, let's go enjoy the rest of the pie. Tell me honestly, did you come here to make sure I don't have any fun, even on my own birthday? So what does it want me to do now? Oh, I think we've done it. Oh yeah, we've done it. Well, off we go. I can't go down here, which is a problem, because I want to go down to there. You know what? Let's go. Hey, it's time for the weekly recruitment of troops. Yes, I will take those Hell Knights. I need you guys to... 80 MP, so it will take 2 days to get there. But as much as I want to, I can't wait for them. We're going to do a quick save, and we are going to attempt to defeat this army. If we fail, we'll reload, of course. I don't mind doing that. Okay, we seem to do good damage to them. Ow. I'm gonna smite you. Then you can wait. I still haven't checked our morale yet. Yeah, let's try and get rid of that one. That was not a good attack. Oh, they do quite a bit of damage, don't they? Even to the clerics, damn. The clerics don't really do much damage to them. Oh shit, I fucked up that. Yeah, we may have to sacrifice our infantry on this one. I'm actually going to take a pity and heal the infantry. Because healing them is a little bit more important, I would say. Archers, come on. Damn it. Yeah, this is hurting. But this is a fight we needed to do. I may have to buy new clerics. Run away! Run away! Hell Knight. Yeah, get rid of those. Infantry. Do what you can. Oh, damn. We lost a lot of archers. Yeah, just go there. Off you go. Yeah, we lost way more archers than I wanted to lose there. And they just keep taking them out. Yeah, we suffered a lot of losses, but I would say that, yeah, wasn't really much I could do about it. Yeah, we need a lot. We massively lost our archer advantage there.